Welcome to Autofaze, I'm Travis.
And I'm Brad with Vasko Speed Performance.
On today's episode, we're installing a Vasko Speed and Performance custom belly pan for a 4th gen. Brad, you ever been at the track, either a spectator or a drag racer, and you see an oil down and you're just thinking like, man, I really wanted to see some drag racing. Now I have to wait 2 hours, the concession stand is packed, or you're a drag racer and you're the next one down and you're getting ready to do your burnout, you see this dude doing oil down and you're thinking, oh my goodness, the service is not going to be the same.
Right, exactly. That's the reason why you need to have a belly pan or a diaper.
What exactly is the difference between a diaper versus a belly pan?
So a diaper is like a fabric blanket of some sort.
It kind of hugs the engine.
Yeah, it's going to like wrap around the block, the oil pan area. But every car's different. Every oil pan's different. You know, some oil pans are wider for drag racing because, you know, they got baffles and stuff in them. So they don't all fit that great. And a lot of these newer cars have oil coolers mounted onto the pan, which makes it even more difficult, or hoses and lines and stuff. And then every time you want to go and change the oil, you got to take this diaper off because it's usually covering the filter and the drain plug, and then you got to try and finagle it back up there. And they have these straps that bolt onto the heads that, you know, they can melt on the headers, things like that.
They definitely don't seem easy to install.
They can kind of be a pain, but they do have a good purpose. So that's why we created a belly pan, and we're trying to make them for all different makes and models. So this one is one for a Fortune Fbody, specifically with the BMR K member, specifically because we had one available to build one off of. So
yeah, this is going to be really cool. The quality is insane. So let's go ahead and get to the install.
So you ordered your belly pan and you're excited, so let's see exactly what you're going to get. First off, you're going to get the actual belly pan itself. It's made out of 14 gauge aluminum. It's all welded up, ready to go. You're going to get this little tab here that's going to hold the pig mat down. You're going to get the pig mat itself. You're going to get the hardware and then 4 tabs. These tabs are going to go the back of the K member, and they're rounded on the inside, so you'll weld the flats out. And then these are the front tabs, and they are already have the nut zerts installed, so it just makes it easier for the installation. When we designed this kit, we wanted to do something that had minimal welding, so you are going to have to weld these 4 tabs onto the K member, but that's the only amount of welding you're going to have to do. Every car is different. We don't know what setup you're using. We don't know if you're turbo, nitrous, whatever. We designed this to be a universal fit. So it's specific for the Fortune F-body with the BMR K member and the 24-inch spacing on the back of the K member. This particular car is a turbo car with a 4-inch downpipe that runs all the way out the back. So when we try to put the belly pan up here, you'll notice it hits the exhaust in the corner. So we're going to have to trim out a little bit of the corner. Your car, same thing. You might have to trim out a little bit for the headers just to make it fit, but stick around and we'll show you how we trim it. We're going to weld these tabs on the K member. We have a TIG welder, so we're just going to TIG weld them on, but if you have a MIG welder, you can use that too, so that'll be fine. So now that we got the tabs welded on, we threw a little bit of paint on them, make them look a little bit better. These brackets don't come pre-drilled because every car is different, and if you weld a tab in a different spot than where I welded it, it's going to be different. So I'm just marking these with a Sharpie to know where I'm going to drill my holes at. I like to mount the back ones first, that way I know I get the belly pan as far forward as possible plus up as high as possible. And after I do that, then we'll mark and drill the front bolt holes. Okay, we're going to drill these bolt holes. Included with the kit are 1/4 bolts. I like to use a drill bit that's a little bit bigger. That way it kind of gives you some leeway. So now that we've got the belly pan mounted on, we got all of our bolts in, everything looks good. It's not gonna hit anything. It clears our flywheel. We're gonna go ahead and take it back off for the final assembly where we're gonna put the pig mat in. You could have done this in the previous ones, but we just took it off and we didn't want to get shavings and stuff when we were cutting and doing it.
If you ran across this video because you're thinking of buying a Vasko Speed custom belly pan for your car, dude, absolutely go and do it. There's gonna be what, 4 bolts that pop out, boom, you're doing your oil change, 4 bolts back in, you're super protected. Plus, I think they're really gonna start enforcing, especially on the national tracks, belly pans or diapers, just so it kind of limits the cleanup, expenses. You know, the spectators aren't kind of antsy when something does happen. It's a huge con,
yeah.
And the price point, it was incredible. And man, I'm super stoked with how this thing turned out. It's almost like, it almost looks like a stealth bomber under there. You know what I mean?
One of the things that I really was striving for, easy installation, so you can take it on, put it off, not that big of a deal. There's pig mat in it, so you know it absorbs if you do have an incident. But the other thing is, it's not just for the track and oiling down the surface, it's also for your own safety. Because if oil gets on the track and gets underneath the tires, you or your competitor can crash. So it's
Absolutely.
best to just keep it, you know, keep it safe. And I think it's a great idea that most tracks are moving to this way.
Absolutely, yes. Brad, thanks for having us over again. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you on the next one.